think over the last year, the United States has really kind of taken on its own sound and its own vibe, its own scene. You know, I think that there's a new generation of clubbers in the United States, and I think over in Europe, it hasn't rotated yet. The new generation hasn't really taken over yet. There's a lot of new kids in the scene, but they haven't like taken over the scene yet like they have here in the United States. So I think that the music here in the U.S. is probably a little bit more aggressive, a little bit more, that new sound. So I do now play a little differently here in the U.S. than I do in Europe because of that. Well, yeah, here in the U.S. it's probably a little bit more, not commercial, but, because EDM is so big here in the U.S. now, there's certain, they hear a lot of this stuff on the radio. Okay. So there are certain tracks that are on the radio that people know and are cool and people love. I'll sprinkle a few of those in my set here and there if it flows and if it fits. And I think that's the big difference right now. The fans that inspire me, it's, anytime you take the decks and, you feel the passion from the fans, that's what inspires you. So, there's so many DJs out there, so many producers out there, and there's so many of them that, make amazing music. But at the end of the day, I think that the biggest inspiration comes from the fans. My sound, the sound that I've always been into has been more melodic. Even though I moved to the U.S. when I was 13, and I always sought out the more melodic music as opposed to, like at the time America was like wrapped up in hip hop, and I never really, was into it. When back in the day, I used to love the breakdance music because I breakdance, but I was never really into the hip hop scene or anything. I'm finishing up my new artist album, and we're gonna have that out at the end of this summer. Just released my new single with Adina Butar is being released. It's called Caught, and that'll be the first vocal track from the new album. And then of course we'll do the album tour, which is always a lot of fun. To get some of the singers and head out on the road. I'm so fortunate to travel the world, so I get to meet a lot of producers all over the world, and two guys that I really think are emerging stars. One of them I discovered in Colombia. His name is Coma. And signed him to manage him, and he's amazing, and I think he's going to be a big star. And then from Romania, there's a guy named Mr. Pitt that he's been making amazing music for my label for years now. But we signed him to a management deal as well, because it's like, I think that now being a label or signing them to my label isn't just enough. Both these artists, as well as Gruby and Hosepian, it's like I want to help them further along, because there's more to it than just releasing people's music nowadays. There's a whole process that you have to go through. There's a lot of work that needs to be done in order to kind of help some of these guys achieve their dreams, like I achieved mine. I think that the very first time I ever DJ'd, it was me and my breakdance crew. We threw a breakdance party, and we were passing out flyers for a month. Hey, come to this party, and it was in a banquet room at a hotel. And the night of the party came, and it was completely full. And we were all going to take turns DJing, and my friends got cold feet because it was that. There were so many people, and I just jumped on the decks and I wound up DJing the entire party, and it was cool because I felt it at that moment. I felt like, yes, this is me. I really felt like there was something there. It wasn't just like, oh wow, this is kind of cool. No, I felt like a real an enlightenment almost. Like this is what I was supposed to be doing. Insomniac does an amazing job with the productions. And also the way they take care of their DJs and their artists. I mean, you know, and all the EDCs I've ever played at, it's been very, very good. And then over in Europe, you know, the God's Kitchen crew, they're amazing. You know, I've been playing a lot of their events, the Boombox events, now the Fusion Cubes. You know, I played some of the Sensation White parties, and they're very well organized as well. I mean, there's so many of them, and to be honest with you, one of the cool things is I have a very good agency, and they work closely with all the right festival promoters, and so I'm very lucky to play with play for very professional people, and have, you know, all the everything around it is done very well. So it's really hard to just say that's my favorite festival or that one. I mean, it's just, there's so many amazing festivals all over the world. I guess there's two different reasons why I love certain clubs. It could be the people, like in Los Angeles, you know, the people in LA are amazing. Amnesia in Ibiza the club is amazing. I've always had a very special connection with Miami, because that's my hometown. So, I mean, God, there's just so many amazing clubs. Ibiza is like a 16-week EDC week, you know. For 16 weeks, it's all about dance music. I started off on the other side of the decks, you know, following other DJs, and so I know what it's like to be on that side of it. So I'm always very, you know, attentive to the fans, because, you know, like I said, I know what it's like to be on that side. Believe it or not, I love classic rock. I listen to a lot of the Head Candy, chill out stuff. You know, lately I've been listening to, you know, some of the ambient music, just, you know, I mean, it's espresso martini shot. And what it is, it's a third espresso, a third vanilla vodka, and a third Kahlua. And, yeah, it's, I think that's the way my music is. It's like, it's sweet, but it's also very dark and edgy.
Absolutely, absolutely.